Tears of the Kingdom is great, and you can all suck my fat, juicy balls. I made this for one person in particular, and you know who you are. Just saying. Almost every day in my Discord server, we have a debate about Zelda games and which one is the best or the most underrated or all of that fun jazz stuff. You got your Ocarina of Time guys who love it because it's Ocarina of Time and everybody loves it. You got your Majora's Mask guys who love it because side quests and death. And then you got your Wind Waker guys who love it because they played it as a kid and its graphics have aged well. I'm gonna be honest, that's about it. I'm just kidding, Wind Waker is great. I just like saying that to piss off the guy that I'm trying to piss off. Everyone, of course, is entitled to their opinion. Everyone's got different opinions. I honestly couldn't give a shit. There is one game that causes the most controversy. Guess which one it is? If you said Breath of the Wild, you would be correct. Up until last year when the sequel came out, Tears of the Kingdom. The better game. I alone stand on top of the small pile of bodies that is the Tears of the Kingdom fanbase, and I will die on that hill. It is my favorite Zelda game, and it is my favorite game of all time. And I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, I'm not the only person that likes Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm just saying it for dramatic effect. It's important. People were understandably upset after Breath of the Wild. It took 6 years for them to make Tears of the Kingdom, which was basically just Breath of the Wild again, but more. And as much as I love the game, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it is a good sequel. It is not a very good sequel. It does not really, add things. It just kind of changes things, which is not good for a sequel. A pretty obvious example of how it just kind of changes things is the entire Sheikah technology from Breath of the Wild is just gone for no reason. And nobody knows why. Nobody says anything. It's not in the lore anyway. Nobody understands. It's just gone. And it's just replaced with a different kind of technology that's basically the same thing. It's just got green on it instead of blue and red. Or no, blue and orange. Blue and orange. So in a certain way, at least to me, Tears of the Kingdom kind of ruins Breath of the Wild. I can't see myself ever going back to Breath of the Wild after I play Tears of the Kingdom, because Tears of the Kingdom is the same thing, but with just cooler features. Basically. A lot of what keeps Tears of the Kingdom from just directly feeling like Breath of the Wild is you have a new set of tools to solve kind of the same problems, but these tools are way more fun. Not that Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have new puzzles and whatnot to stop. It is a totally, completely changed world, but a lot of what makes it changed is just how you interact with it. The topic of Tears of the Kingdom being a bad game has already been talked to death, so I'm just going to skip over the bad stuff and get to the good stuff, because that's why I'm making the video in the first place. So, before we get started, I just want to go ahead and thank our sponsor for this week, Gloob Gloob. They have massive selection for all your glooby needs, your globby needs, your goo needs, slop needs even. They cover everything, so I just wanted to shout them out real quick. I don't really have a super clear vision or plan for this video. I'm kind of just ranting about Tears of the Kingdom, so we're going to get into probably my favorite part of it first. Also, pretty obvious, spoiler warning, the next part's going to be end game stuff, so just so you know.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do.
In my opinion, Ganondorf has easily the best introduction in this game. He's unbelievably menacing and large and so much more real than he's ever felt in any other game to me. This Ganondorf is significantly different from, say, the Ocarina of Time Ganon, who is more of a manipulator and a thief with his magic abilities, and he's more of a sly, sort of slithery kind of guy. This Ganon is big. He's big and he's strong and he's royal. He's regal. He holds power. You can feel the power just in the sound design of him, the stretching of his muscles as he rehydrates himself, the thud that it makes whenever he jumps off of his hydration bed thing. He holds so much physical power, and it's shown very clearly in the boss fight where you duel him. The final boss fight in Tears of the Kingdom is easily my favorite of all the Zelda games, and even probably my favorite final boss fight ever. It's just unbelievably epic. The sound design of the area that you're in, the music that plays. The very beginning of the boss fight starts where you're walking around and Ganondorf is slowly walking after you like a slasher villain, holding his katana out, and all you can hear is the thud of his bare feet on the ground, and it just makes a doop, doop, and it's fucking awesome. Ganondorf is also easily, I feel like, the most villainous of all the Ganons. In Ocarina of Time, he kidnaps Zelda, and then you go forward for 7 years, and he's taken over the kingdom. You don't really know exactly what he did. In this game, you see him stab a woman in the back. You see the fucking thing go through her. And then he laughs maniacally as he steals the secret stone. It's fucking awesome. A lot of complaints I heard right after Tears of the Kingdom came out was like, we waited forever. I mean, we haven't had a Ganon since Twilight Princess. And he's just a guy. They didn't give him a character. They don't need to give him a character. He's fucking Ganondorf. He's never had a character. All he does is embody evil. He is just evil. That's all he is. That's all he needs to be. Zelda, Link, and Ganon are not really characters. That's why they don't have characters. All they are representations of the sides of the cycle of life, basically. It's an allegory for just our world and the universe that we live in. Which is why the main thing that I dislike about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is just the removal of the Triforce. That's what brings it all together. Which does bring you to my next point. The story is fucking great, and I don't give a shit what you say. In this game, the story very much follows and mirrors a lot of other Zelda games. In a way, it is basically just Breath of the Wild again, but I think through the memories and the other characters and adding Ganon as an actual physical person instead of just malice brings a whole nother level to it that I think is fucking great. The twist of Zelda being the Light Dragon and holding the sword for 10,000 years so that it could be strong enough to defeat Ganon after he literally just obliterated it, I thought was fucking crazy and fucking awesome, dude. And also the great thing about the story is just the in-world characters that are, shown fighting off Ganon and his forces. The raids that you can do with the military people on the Bokoblin camps or the bases that they set up. Lookout Landing, the people that are researching all of it just feels so much more immersive on even a different level than Breath of the Wild was. It's a complete, total tone shift from Breath of the Wild, whereas in Breath of the Wild, everything was already kind of ruined. You come in afterwards. There's people just scraping by in random places. People have moved on, while the evil kind of just chills there in the middle. Tears of the Kingdom, it's all over the place, and the entire world is coming together to help make a difference and do something about it. One of my favorite parts of the game was whenever you do a raid on one of the Bokoblin camps with the military people, and I would just shoot myself up into the sky, fly over, and then just air bomb the place with like puff shrooms so that they could come in and just sneak attack everything, and it was fucking awesome. Which also leads me into my next part of it, the gameplay, which I already did kind of talk about in the beginning, but I'm going to talk about it more because it needs to be talked about more because I love it. Ultra Hand alone basically replaces all of the abilities that you had in Breath of the Wild. And building stuff in this game, while it is very janky and a little funky and sometimes frame rate drops, not great, not nasty. I can't wait till this game gets 60 FPS port to the Switch too. It's so much fun to just build shit, even if it's not like an efficient tool. Like, yeah, you can just walk into the Bokoblin camp and whack them with your sword, or you could build a fucking tank with rocket launchers on the side of it and blow them up. It doesn't have to, it's not about efficiency. It's not about doing things the best way. It's just about fucking around and having fun. And I think that's what a lot of people don't quite understand about the mechanics. One of the big debates that we had was on the Lurelin Village side quest, when you have to transport logs back to the houses to rebuild them. And just the different ways that we all came about doing that showed, I feel like, a lot of the difference in how we play the game, and probably just games in general. One guy literally just carried the things. One guy at least stuck them all together. I built a little truck that carried all of them back, which did take me an extra 20 minutes. But it's not about which way is the most efficient, because obviously just sticking them all together and taking them back would have been the most efficient. But I had a hell of a lot more fun building a truck to carry it back. Also, a similar argument with the dungeons of the game. Most people didn't really like the dungeons in Breath of the Wild. Some of the guys were saying that they preferred the dungeons in Breath of the Wild because they were at least had unique gimmicks to them, which I can understand that. And to be fair, I think they're overhated a lot. I like these better purely because of Ultra Hand and what it allows you to do. My favorite dungeon is the Spirit Temple, which some could argue is not really a dungeon. I'm going to include it because it's basically just building fucking minecarts and traversing. It's literally just how you play the rest of the game, but just in a smaller area. And it was great, and the boss fight was fucking awesome too. That is the one thing we can mostly all agree on, is the boss fights in this game are leagues better than the ones in Breath of the Wild. And honestly, some of the best boss fights I would say in the entire series. So in general, I would say the key to enjoying this game as much as I do, and I think is the main reason why people don't like it, it's just the lack of imagination. I don't want to be like a hater and say that you don't have an imagination, but I think that's the thing. It's just the disconnect and the inability to just fuck around. Where is your whimsy? Where is your childlike joy? Do the horrors of the world weigh so heavily upon your soul you can't build a massive statue with a dick on it with little balls? Why not? You can't build robots with dick and balls in Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or Wind Waker. That's only this game. Is this game perfect? No. Can it be topped pretty easily? I feel like it can. Is it the only game of modern times that does anything to innovate or do anything with the tools that we have? Yeah. Every modern game feels the exact same. Everything is just God of War, Spider-Man, whack stuff, action adventure game. It's all the same. Zelda used to be on the front lines of video game innovation. It was the Ocarina of Time is just unbelievably it's everywhere. Every game, modern game that you play, took stuff from Ocarina of Time. Every top-down adventure game takes things from Link to the Past. Every sailing game takes things from Wind Waker. There are very few other games which gives you the kind of freedom that Tears of the Kingdom does. And when it does, normally it's in a game like fucking Minecraft, where you're in it's just a sandbox game. This is a sandbox game, except you can fight Ganondorf. So it's fucking awesome. If my amazing video quality hasn't convinced you to go back and play it, you should, because it's great. And now you know what to do. Go build a robot with a dick. That's how you have fun with this game. This is not in any way like an accurate apology for Tears of the Kingdom, because I don't know what I'm saying. I am not a game critic. I just like what I like. I like being able to make robots with dicks. And I totally understand why people don't like it. You can dislike it, that's totally fine. I love it though. So I'm gonna tell the whole world. Also, for the guy that I made this video for, I'm just kidding. You don't have to like Tears of the Kingdom. And Wind Waker is great. I just don't like it that much. Actually, maybe I want to be a hater. Never mind. Wind Waker sucks fat balls!